Salute, Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing. Big time win as the Knicks take a 2-0 lead in round 2. New York Knicks won this one from grit, Hart, and Jalen Brunson's heroics. Man. If you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. Unbelievable game that we just witnessed again as the playoffs and the Knicks take things to the next level. Just when you think things couldn't be outdone from what we've seen already, man, that game was something you and I will never forget. Unbelievable moments at MSG that we witnessed. Almost speechless, fam, but we're buzzing, and let's break this thing down as the Knicks take a 2-0 lead. Plenty to talk about, of course. The conditioning, the health, first and foremost, of Jalen Brunson is going to be talked about moving forward in this series. OG Anunoby did not return with what they're saying is a sore hamstring as well. That is going to be a big factor. But ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk about a 2-0 lead as the Knicks gritted this one out and overcame another pesky, gritty Pacer performance, right? But this one was a little more comfortable down the stretch as the Knicks got a little bit of separation, offensive rebounds. After offensive rebounds, Precious Achiuwa stepped in, made some big plays, and got his minutes. Of course, as we knew, in the absence of Mitch, in the absence of OG as well. But heroic performance from Jalen Brunson, a Willis-esque, right? And we don't use that name, in jest because, God rest his soul, rest in peace, Willis Reed. But on this day today, right, he came out of the tunnel, Game 7, and lifted the Knicks up. And we saw something very, very similar, right, as Jalen Brunson came out. I've never felt so helpless, waiting for the news, and an update, of a Knicks player before as the world, Knicks Nation collectively held their breaths to wait to see. But we'll wait and see how serious it is. Jalen Brunson did look worse as he came back, but as the game went along, maybe the adrenaline, maybe it was an injection, something that happened, right, just willed Jalen Brunson on to a heroic performance that we'll never ever forget in this game, right? Off a slow start, OG Anunoby came to play as well. 28 huge points in this game, right? One of his best games as a New York Knick. Unfortunate that he had to go out with that hamstring, off a fast break. But wait and see how serious that is. But it's always the next man up. And Josh Hart and DiVincenzo had arguably their best games as a New York Knick as well. And that's saying things because, like I said, man, they just continue to take things up a notch and another notch, fam. But my God, the Garden was rocking tonight, fam. How we feeling right now? Jets gang, let's go, baby. Daniel, buzzer beater, puppy, replay squad, Knicks streets. We're buzzing. That's what we do this for, baby. As the Knicks win 130 to 121 in what was more of a faster pace game. As the Knicks showed no signs of fatigue. Again, we're going to shout out our heroes, fam, and give out the game ball tonight, fam, as the skies are orange and blue, fam, and we get ready for a war in Indy in games 3 and 4, fam. But the Knicks won the rebounding, like we know, 52 to 41. The Knicks shot better from 3, but the Knicks didn't get as many fast break points or second chance points tonight. Points in the paint was even, fam, but 28 assists. Pacers were moving the ball better. And we got a better game from Tyrese Halliburton, but it just wasn't enough, right? Pascal Siakam couldn't come to play. From the Pacers side of things, questionable decision from Rick Carlisle to not bring TJ McConnell back late down the stretch. He was arguably their better player in the front court, despite Tyrese having a better game, a better performance than Game 1. Obi Toppin did his best to help the Pacers as well. But Donte DiVincenzo was absolutely huge once again with his 28 points plus 15 of Jalen Brunson's 29 and OG's 28 was enough, man, for the Knicks to score 130. Precious Achiuwa chipped in with 8 points as well. Got a nice jam. Man, the Knicks played with maximum chemistry tonight. That's what I saw will the Knicks on in this ball game, fam. It was heart, it was effort, but it was chemistry. As the Knicks just found that way. Cutting, knowing where their guys are at, exploiting the Pacers mismatches as well. Brunson was getting the switch onto Nembhard as well, and that's where you see here, fam, he was going to work from the three-point line and getting into the paint as well, right? We hope that foot, the ankle is all good, but I think he's going to play in Game 3. We'll wait and see. Is it going to limit him, though? I thought they did a nice job, making JB more of a decoy, towards the early part of the fourth, but late down the stretch, they had no hesitation giving this man the rock, right? And the Brunson night rises, fam, in Gotham. Unbelievable. Man, Nick Yak, what's up? How much fun was that? Not going to lie, it was everything. Fun, heart-wrenching, buzzing. It was adrenaline-fueled, man. That was everything like a rave party and a concert and everything, man, that you've experienced before watching a b-ball game. But down the stretch, the crowd really gave this team a big punch. And I think we're going to be tested like never before in Indiana. We just need to win one. Just need to win one in Indiana. Wait and see. So many different directions we could go. Obviously, we're going to give out the game ball shortly, fam, as the chat piles through and we're buzzing. Right now, we're rocking like MSG. But with OG Anunoby's hamstring, guys, I feel like it might not be as serious as some people think. I've seen some people really pull up holding their hamstring. Often it can be the fact that they just don't want to put more pressure on it as well. It doesn't necessarily mean it might be a bad strain or a tear. We'll wait and see as well. So I'm not going to overreact, but this game will be forever remembered for all Hart, right? From Hart to iHeart to JB to you and me, fam, in the crowd watching. Unbelievable performance, right? Gut blow, losing Mitch, yesterday, losing OG throughout the game, losing Brunson for basically the second quarter. To rise above that, man, is just something special. And you just can't put that into words, and do that justice, what we saw as well, against a fittingly, a nemesis of the Knicks and a team that definitely tried to come out and put their best foot forward as well. I thought Indiana played probably as solid as a game as they did in Game 1, but I think the Knicks were a little bit better, obviously moving the ball out of the double. Look, the second quarter, you can basically throw that in the trash because Brunson was not on the court, but it was ugly. But the Knicks found a way in that third, right? One of the best quarters of our season, fam, outscoring Indiana 36-18 with that huge run. And you could just feel it from the adrenaline, fam, as Brunson came out of the tunnel, basically after halftime, started to put shots up, and the crowd was going absolutely crazy, and you just knew we were in for something special, fam. As former legends in the building, Stephon Marbury, they're going ham, John Starks, LJ, Spree, fam, MSG in the place to be, NYC, fam, unbelievable performance there. As Jalen Brunson sealed it with a kiss. With that performance, we'll never ever forget. Pre-game, we found out that Jalen Brunson was voted the 5th player in our MVP voting as well. Didn't get a first place vote, however got 3 second place votes in the MVP and ended up finishing 5th, right? Deserved better, I feel, but that's still something we can build on and something that, it shouldn't be glossed over as well. For this guy to be 5th in MVP voting is also a very special achievement. I think Jalen Brunson should be voted first team All-NBA, and we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what ends up happening with that. But he did everything to help this team win, and basically left it all out there like they have all season with 29 points, 5 assists. Look at that plus minus, man. Again, that third quarter run paints the story, fam. Plus 26 was Jalen Brunson, man. He was the best player on the court in Game 1. Today, there was no doubt who was the best player on the court, man. One team's unbeatable when he's playing. And of course, man, he only played 32 minutes, but was 11 of 18, 61% and 3 of 6 from deep. 50% from 3, got his 3-game going, fam. And with that, we don't need to do anything else but give this man the game ball, fam. Give this man the city, the keys to the city coming up soon. But A++ performance, clutch when you needed him. Only he knows how much pain he was in and what the story is. And of course, we're going to find out soon, right? He'll be questionable, no doubt, for Game 3. They won't reveal his status tomorrow. I really feel like it'll probably be on a game time decision, just to keep Indiana guessing now, as the guessing games will commence, for Game 3. But absolute warrior, man. The time I give this warrior icon, right, today is the most fitting on that. And I think, man, he's headed for the Hall of Fame, man, in the future. But legacies are built in the playoffs, like we know. And this will be remembered so far as the Jalen Brunson game. Fam, how you feeling? John, still Knicks fam in the house. Solid win, gritty. Time to take the next one in Indy. Absolutely big. Winning one in Indy would definitely help us seal this series in 5, hopefully. But it's going to be tough, fam. Paolo from Brazil, welcome, salute. Shirley says, it's sad with Mitch out, but I will say the next man up. That will show everyone that the Knicks don't crack under pressure. Yeah, great words said, Shirley. This team's really been connected all season through various challenges. Let's not forget OG's missed, almost a month, I think, or more for this season. Mitchie's been out for 4 months. The next guy up is kind of used to being next man up now as well. And we're doing things on the fly, but we've been here before this season. Precious Achiuwa was fantastic, stepping in as well. And I think, he's going to, be a big factor, no doubt about it. As we talk about Precious, he was 4 of 5 from the field, was great around the paint. 3 big offensive rebounds. Can't say enough about Precious Achiuwa's involvement in this ball game, man. 8 points. Despite being minus 14, obviously he played the bulk of his minutes when Brunson was off the court. And again, with that huge run in the third quarter, a lot of plus minus will be a little askew. But HP Carlos, salute, welcome in. Appreciate everyone joining us. Let me know your thoughts. I'll shout you out. Comment section as well for the replay squad. But we only need to give one game ball out today, right? And it's firmly in the hands of Jalen Brunson, right? Kind of surprised he still did the walk-off interview, man. I kind of feel a certain way about that, man. Just get him back to the locker room and get medical attention as well, because literally the future of the franchise is in the rest of the playoffs is in this man's hands as well. But I can't say enough about the rest of the squad and what they did to step up. And we're going to shout the next guy up and then the next guy up tonight and some as well. I'm feeling very emotional. I'm feeling so happy and excited, but quite emotional as well, because I haven't seen that many performances like that in person in terms of since I was born. 40-year Knick fan. Obviously the championship years are the pinnacle, but I feel like we're getting closer and closer and closer to something that's that special as well. And it's been just a long time for Knicks Nation, to get there as well. And we're taking blow after blow with these injuries. First and foremost, send a prayer and prayers up to OG Anunoby. Hopefully it ain't as serious as it looked. Sore hamstring. We do have a 2-day rest between games 5 and 6. Not looking too far ahead, but that is something. But of course, we only have a 1-day layoff between game 3, 2 and 3, and 3 and 4, too. But look, the second guy that stepped up offensively, DiVincenzo, after OG went out. And look, OG was on pace to give us 35 or more. Probably his best game as a New York Knick. And as we salute OG Anunoby a little bit later in terms of his performance, we are now 26 and 5 with OG Anunoby in the lineup, man. And that stat, that legacy with him continues to grow as well. Will he miss any time? We don't know yet. but we will find out. But with OG Anunoby now rocking with us, we are 26-5, man, above a 85% win percentage, basically, which is just unreal, guys, unbelievable. Nick Yak says, hopefully we caught it fast enough. Definitely. And as I said, I've seen a lot of athletes pull up, and stop short with their hammy, and it wasn't as serious as you think. Sometimes they feel that little bit of a twinge or a twang, and then they start to pull up, and it looks worse. But then sometimes it's just a little bit of soreness, and rest for a few days can alleviate that. But for me, I definitely want to play it safe. Bigger picture stuff. We have a 2-0 lead, and perhaps we can afford now. We are in a commanding position heading to Indiana, but you obviously want to try to steal one in Indiana as well. Look, credit to Tyrese Halliburton. He answered a lot of critics. He came back, had a better performance. We're going to talk a little bit about TJ McConnell and how can the Knicks make better adjustments for games 3 later, after we've done, addressing the necessary, fam, as Jalen Brunson, man. This is, for me, the Jalen Brunson game right now. Everything that he's done so far in the NBA, college, Knicks, Mavs, today was the pinnacle for me, because it was everything. I mean, we were dominating with him early. He goes out, no one knows what the heck's going down. Really, really fearing the worst. Comes back like Willis, like I said today. Rest in peace. Crowd goes crazy. Third quarter was just something unreal, man. The Garden reached insane levels today, and Jalen Brunson proceeded to take over the ball game like he's taken over many, many games this season, man. And it feels special to win a close one as well. Look, this series is going to be tight, regardless of what the final series ends up at. Each game is definitely going to be tight. Even if it's 5-1, 4-1 in 5 games. If it goes 6, I could see most of these games being tight, and being close. But the Knicks got it done with some good shooting, good ball movement, and offensive rebounds once again late down the stretch. And our defense did step up. I want to pay particular props defensively for Josh Hart, guarding Siakam on a lot of those isolations, giving up a lot of size. A lot of props to Miles McBride today as well. His perimeter defense was better. McConnell was really good. It just can't do much. You can't take away everything as well. That's what I want to sort of highlight too, fam. People will say, oh, this guy got loose, we've got to shut him down as well, which is fair. But sometimes in the playoffs, you can't shut everything down. You have to choose what you want to take away from the other team. And first, game 1, we slowed Halliburton down. McConnell got loose. Today, both of them kind of got loose, but Neesmith wasn't much of a factor, and neither was Pascal Siakam and Turner. So you can kind of live and die with some things, and I'm okay with TJ McConnell, given, using up the ball a lot as well, because other guys do go cold. And again, you can't take everything away. But I think the Knicks did enough to guard Indiana as a team as well. Again, Precious and Isaiah is a nice combination that we're going to hopefully see a lot more of. And yeah, I think it's been good so far, fam. CC, salute. JB is that guy, man. He is him. He is a warrior. New York grit for sure. London says, but without OG, we wouldn't even be close or have won it. Hopefully he'll be back this season. It really is a wait and see, fam. But yeah, OG, I mean, the number speaks for itself. 26-5 with OG, and we're a different team without him. But again, we've still got some warriors, we've got guys with a lot of heart that can step up as well. Hopefully, if he is missing time, it's not a lot. Definitely. Buzzer beater with the super chat right now. We're injured, and they still can't beat us. Let's effing go Knicks. Salute, Buzzer. Thank you again for the super chat. Great to have you with us, man. And I can just feel the pride and the excitement from everyone coming through the building. Special win as well. It wasn't the prettiest game, but what's your biggest surprise, guys? I'll ask you. For me, I'm kind of surprised that the scoring is so high. The Knicks, I think the Knicks would like to slow the game down a little bit, but we just cannot, because the Pacers are doing a great job, getting into the grills of the Knicks on the inbound passing. That was another concern and another area where, we had to really fight hard, to get the ball in bounds as well. We saw Josh Hart fall over the inbound and have to give it up. We saw a couple sloppy turnovers late, as well as I think fatigue is, definitely playing a part in this one, man. Is, we're all just catching our breath. But I mean, when JB hit that three, man, it was like euphoria for me. It was nirvana. It was just unbelievable. Like, I just could not believe what I was seeing, man. And you couldn't script. Hollywood couldn't script a game like this, and and a run like we've seen. Hopefully, man, this story, this ride, just continues, man. And again, I'm sending prayers out for OG, for Mitch, for everyone, man. All of us, man. He went under the screen a few times, and that was better, 100%. That was one of my adjustments, too. CC says the full court press was not to win Indy's favour. Yeah, it did hurt them a lot, too. Sloppiness in terms of trying to recover for overplaying. And I think the Knicks got smarter with that. Great point. Couple of examples, guys got loose for the jam. OG Anunoby was one of them earlier. Nembhard, McConnell, their legs are going to be shot as well. I mean, the Pacers might not show it because they've got depth, but best believe that they're hurting as well, right? You can't pick up a whole team full court for the full game and not be feeling it. So the Pacers are really being tested like they've never been tested before as well this season, this postseason. And at the end of the day, like, it's just two teams giving it their best. And as a basketball fan, like I said at the top of the show, man, if you don't like this, you don't like NBA basketball as well. This is everything from throwback rivalry to new school, excitement, pride, and a old rivalry, reignited as well. Give me your thoughts about Reggie Miller on the call as well. It was disgusting. You could hear the bias coming out of Reggie's mouth as well. We knew it wasn't going to be any other way, but we just have to deal with it, right? But we had Ice Spice in the building, celebs there, buzzing. Look, Jalen Brunson must have taken some kind of, jab injection or something, because he didn't really look that limited down the stretch. But as the call said, adrenaline, maybe just a lot of other things willed Brunson on, right? But that was an amazing and one play there as he fended off the physicality of Nembhard. Buzzer says OG Anunoby, A+ performance, great game, man. I said it, man. I think it's one of his best performances in his NBA career. Possibly, Nick's career as well. I think, obviously, the circumstances and everything going into it. With that said, let's give out OG his flowers right now, right, as we'll continue to talk about the hero in Gotham, Jalen Brunson. But just unbelievable performance early from OG Anunoby. He was absolutely big time for me, A++, right? And he did not finish the full game. But yeah, like I said, he was on track for like 35, with his 28 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds as well. He was a +10 when he went out. He had a block and just no turnovers, 1 foul, only 28 big buckets, fam. He was swishing early, 4 of 7 from 3 and 10 of 19. Really good start and super aggressive, fam, for OG as well. So, like Buzzer said, absolutely great game from OG Anunoby. Really starting to show what he can do offensively, and I really like what I'm seeing for the future with OG in terms of a guy who's not shook, in a big moment, a guy who you think should be the second focal point on offense with his size, his verticality, physicality as well. And yet he was causing a lot of headaches for Indiana as well. Could this series swing on the health of OG Anunoby, right? We already know the answer to that with Jalen Brunson, right? We're a completely different team. But does this series swing for you if OG Anunoby doesn't suit up, right? I'm really torn because I know guys can step up. I believe in Precious Achiuwa and Hart and the next man up, but we are definitely going to feel it. We are definitely going to feel an absence if OG does miss some time, fam. And 26-5 with OG, right? We're basically close to unbeatable, right? There's only been 5 teams. There's only been a team able to beat us 5 times. Absolutely, man. The back and forth with Stan Van Gundy, Reggie, it was awful. Definitely. OG could have gone for 40 too. What I like the most, CC guys, as well, the aggression from OG. Early we needed a guy to put pressure on the Pacers defense as well. And look, for all the full court press and the switchability the Pacers have, they're not a good defensive team in the regular season. And I thought today we did a better job at taking advantage of the Pacers defense, catching them napping at times as well. And I think in terms of guys, trying to get up the court, we are playing faster than we usually do. There's no doubt about it. 130, that reflects the faster pace for us, even though shorthanded. And it also reflects the fact that the Pacers defense is not good, fam, as well. How many times did we put up 130 on Philadelphia? I don't know if we did, fam, as well. But in a big honor and a salute to OG Anunoby for arguably his best game as a Knick in his career, 27 minutes, right? Absolutely efficient and awesome display defensively and offensively was special, man. Plus 10. Incredible, man, incredible. And next up, we're going to talk about DiVincenzo and then Josh Hart too, right? No disrespect leaving them third and fourth, but, OG Anunoby was excellent early, deserves his shout out, and obviously with the news that, he's got a sore hamstring, we have to wait and see. But really, I think this series could swing on the health of OG, but I'm not ready to say definitively because we're in the box seat, up 2-0, and we've got guys who can come in and really create for our offense as well. Defensively, we're just gonna have to continue to defend as a team, guys and fam. And speaking of fam, we had the entire fam in the building, man. It just feels great to see these guys all together, man. Novak, Allen Houston, Spree, Marbury, Clyde, shout out, BK, Bernard King. I see Amari there. I see Starks as well. And I see the guy at the back in the hoodie as well. Can't make him out. And the rest of the heroes as well. Legends in the house. Must be inspiring for the new crop of Knicks to see those guys there as well. As Dante rocked the rim with this one, man. I love his aggression. Look at that. See, that's the key play where the guy's overplaying you and punish them. Backdoor cut. Miles Turner could not recover on that one. Huge play from Devo as well because the ball game was really tight at that point as well. Fake the cut around the screen and then go backdoor. And once again, we're going to shout out Isaiah because he was incredible with his dishing and swishing, fam. His playmaking, too, was absolutely big time. Knicks 24 champs with a good point about Alec Burks and possibly having to use him now a lot more with Jericho Sims, too. Look, with guys going down and bodies, questionable and, potential future injury concerns, I think the fact that we're up 2-0, I think it's a perfect time, as you say, to help the current guys and get more bodies in there as well. We will talk a little bit about Alec Burks, but he only played 44 seconds, obviously late in the second quarter when the status of Jalen Brunson was not determined yet. Tibbs didn't know, obviously, at that stage, so he put Alec Burks in. But I think moving forward, if Alec Burks can give us 6 to 8 minutes, hit a couple shots, that'll be key. Bring the ball up the court, maybe change the pace a little bit in Indiana. That's going to be big. But of course, if Jalen Brunson sits at all, and OG Anunoby sits, then him and Jericho Sims become massive in terms of their factor as well. Too. Starberry was going crazy in the building too, man. Great to see him. What a game by Hart. Definitely, as London says, CC says we play as a team. That's the thing, I love that cut from Devo and the back door when Hart found him as well. And Isaiah was dishing and swishing as well with 8 assists, 12 rebounds. I can't wait to get to Isaiah. But my first X factor of this series was the big Ragu, man. And has he shown up twice now in both games in this series so far as well? I said it at the time, man. Game 6 versus Philly, that woke DiVincenzo up, man. He was struggling offensively before that. And he's had 3 excellent games in a row now. And he really has been the Robin offensively for the last 3 games, right? OG was also a Robin tonight, but DiVincenzo late, Mike Breen, if he was on the call, you know what he would have been saying, fam, as DiVincenzo went 10 of 20, 6 of 12, incredible shooting, 50% from both, swished both free throws, got us 6 boards, 2 offensive as well. Not going to forget about them. He skied for a couple of huge rebounds as well to keep the ball alive and the possession with the Knicks. 4 assists as well. Can just do it all, man. Unbelievable stretch that this guy is on, man. 28 points plus 15. To think we're down a guy like a Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo has not got the same, obviously, accolades and and achievements as a Julius Randle. But man, is he doing his best job to step in and give us, the co-all-star numbers with 28 points, plus 15, and 50% shooting from 3. Incredible, man. As you guys said, when they did try to press us full court, I thought that big 3 from Devo in the corner was a big backbreaker for Indiana, man, as you saw Neesmith just throw his hands up in frustration as the Knicks kind of just killed their spirit in this one, man, as Brunson rose like the Dark Knight, fam. And look, Devo's just that energizer bunny. He never stops cutting and moving. Every guy deserves a bumping grade for all the minutes they're playing as well. In the brightest moment, the biggest stage, 43 minutes for Devo. Isaiah with basically 40 minutes. Hart, we know he's not coming out of the ball game right now. He's going to be next that we shout out. Just unbelievable, Fatigue ain't even creeping in terms of the shot. Some players lose their legs, when they're shooting those kind of shots, but we didn't see that with Devo as well. Obviously Brunson taking care of the ball a lot, does let guys rest a little bit around him. And we did let Brunson rest a little bit in the corner on a couple of actions when Devo and Hart, Isaiah, controlled the offense as well down the stretch. But look, Deuce Miles McBride did a better job defensively. I think he has more to give offensively. We'll talk about Deuce. A++ for me for OG. 22 points at the first half, right? Unbelievable performance. They had no answer for OG. And locked in from the start. JB, right, gave the Knicks a 11-point advantage right before he hurt his foot too. So just Superman, man, Batman heroics today. Today we were living in a fantasy world, really. CC says Achiuwa can be aggressive, get into the bucket. Yeah, he cuts well. He does read the play well. The fact that he's played a big stretch with this squad, I think, will help us more than your typical situation next man up. Because yeah, we've missed a lot of guys this season, and he's kind of stepped in a lot, and he's ready. Yeah, he put Burks in for that last shot of the quarter. That's it. He won't play him if OG can go. Yeah, I agree. I think if OG's out, then the chances of Burks getting in will increase. But if OG can go, I think it'll just be Precious and Deuce. Man, he loves the 7-man. He really does. Rick Carlisle got tossed as well. Frustrations in the end. What are your thoughts on the referees calling what they're saying is an inadvertent double dribble, but it was proven that it wasn't a double dribble. That I thought it was good. The referees converged. Obviously realized they made an error and corrected it. Obviously, if you're on the Pacers side, right? I mean, he didn't double dribble. The referee said it was inadvertent. That didn't decide this ball game as well. Obviously, the kick ball, as I said it in the post game as well, right? Every team's been on the end of bad calls this season, and no doubt the kick ball was the wrong call. I've made my thoughts clear about the moving screen, right? That was a moving screen for many reasons. An illegal screen, because Miles Turner's legs were also so wide apart, and you can't spread your legs like that so far apart as well. People having issue with it being called at that stage. Well, the call is the call. The referees can't just ignore something that they see as well. But yeah, I could feel how you'd be frustrated. But today, the referees did not decide the ball game, and neither did they in game one, in my opinion, as well. As the Knicks just continue to out-rebound Indiana. And that's where Indiana needs to improve, Pascal Siakam, with OG Anunoby out of this ball game, he needed to make his presence felt, a lot more, and he didn't, right? As Dante, my grade is going to be an A++ for me as well. Just huge, plus 15, almost 30 points, 50% from 3 and from the field, both free throws hit, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Just an incredible value for a player in the playoffs who's on a mid-level exception. Just unbelievable. And like I said, I referenced Julius Randle and the production that we're missing from him. We wouldn't be where we're at without a Dante DiVincenzo, man. He's had 40-point games this season. He's broken the Knicks franchise shooting records from attempts and makes. And he's doing it on the biggest stage right now. So proud, man. There was a lot of doubts and question marks over Devo's playoff, nous. He's not produced in the playoffs coming into this season as much as, the regular season. But the last 3 games has just been special. And, he's really hot right now, and you don't want to leave him wide open. But his ball movement, his cutting abilities, and all of that are just amazing to watch. It really helps out our offense, and just a credit to our starting 5 for what they've been able to produce. The chemistry is unreal. Each guy knows where each guy is at. The ball movement is a thing of beauty, as well. I know it does slow down late. Obviously, Brunson does close the games for us. But to have a guy like an Isaiah, who can get guys involved from the center position, get those offensive rebounds, and then get other guys going with cutting. If you're a player on this starting 5, you're always going to get the ball if you move and you cut and you crash the glass as well. And it's just a perfect combination of guys who are switchable, guys who defend multiple positions, guys who rebound well, and guys who can shoot well. So I can't wait for next season. But I mean, I don't even want to think about that right now. Obviously, I pray, I hope OG doesn't miss any time, and we're hoping that JB doesn't miss any time. But we'll wait and see, fam. But now the time is to shout out Josh Hart as well. He's been my MVP of the playoffs so far, together with Jalen Brunson. Obviously, that speaks for itself. But for Josh Hart, we're going to talk about up next, man. Is there anything this man can't do? Like, it's crazy how he's raised his game even higher in the playoffs, and there aren't many players that can do that. It's usually reserved for superstars and stars that raise their game to another level. Yes, role players have their odd huge games in the playoffs. Maybe one game a series where you say, oh, that was the Ray Allen game, that was the Patty Mills game. Role players that hit big shots. But I've never seen anything like this in terms of a role guy produce so much higher in the playoffs at a consistent level, right? It's just like he's a brand new player as well. He's never scared. And I don't know if it's just all fearlessness, his ability to play loose, which is a big plus in the playoffs. A lot of players tighten up, and the game really speeds up for them. But for Hart, the game is slowing down. He's excellent bringing the ball up the court. I know he had 5 turnovers today, which didn't really feel like it for me. Credit to obviously the full court press, right? We had problems, getting the ball up the court sometimes. Obviously, one of them, Hart did step on the inbound as well. That was very uncharacteristic. But Hart was still a +9, 19 points, a huge, with 15 rebounds. Man, out-rebounding the Indiana Pacers front court. Unbelievable. 2 offensive rebounds, 7 assists as well. He's playing like a point forward, rebounding and a power forward combined, with 7 assists, 15 rebounds, and 19 points, closing in on another triple-double. Fam, if I'm a betting man, I'm going to put money that Josh Hart will end up with a triple-double at some point at the rest of the playoffs, fam. He was 8 of 12, 1 of 3. They did take away a lot of the looks that Hart had in this ball game. But look, he's been ready. He's been ready and willing to shoot it. And I think they've made that adjustment now because, this man is knocking them down, right, at a really high rate in the playoffs. And, obviously the rebounding is his elite skill. That sets him apart from any other role player we've seen. He is literally Dennis Rodman reincarnated Charles Barkley in terms of the point forward, rebounding forward, really, but in a guard's body. In the case of Barkley, with that one, but look, to give us 19 points, that many rebounds, you forgive him for the turnovers because he still comes up big when we need him, and boy has he been amazing in the playoffs so far. Words can't describe how big he has been, for a player, also that we acquired last season for protected pick Cam Reddish and Svi Mihailuk as well. I mean, that trade is just showing to be a stroke of genius right now because he is doing everything. Like, literally, there's nothing that Josh Hart cannot do to... London says NBA ref Twitter was pretty cool tonight, explaining some plays. I didn't see that, but thanks for mentioning. I do know the NBA refs were hosting a watch party as well, which was cool. Also, Hacker Siak, Pascal Siakam came up small today, man. I think Pacer Nation is definitely gonna, hone in on him a little bit. Tyrese played better. McConnell. To be honest, I think we've done good with Miles Turner, not hurting us as much as well. But yeah, like Knicks 24 champ says, I really wish all of our guys were healthy, man. Bogey, Mitch, and of course our season would have looked so different if Julius Randle never got injured, fam. And that is months and months ago. We would have finished with 55 wins plus as well and given Boston a real push for the first seed. But we still might give them a huge push in the third round. And I'm ready for the Knicks to close this one out early, fam, so we don't have to deal with hopefully any other injuries too. How were you feeling when Brunson was out off the bench into the locker room? And we were, waiting for the news, like I was fearing the worst. I'm not going to lie, because all the talk was, Rick Brunson was off the bench as well. Leon Rose was also out of his seat. The whole second quarter went by, fam, and we still didn't hear any news, basically. And we were losing the ball game. It was just like, depression was creeping in. And it was just like, just please give us some clarity, Are we going to have to do without him for the rest of the game? Then when he put Alec Burks in, a lot of people conceded that Brunson's not going to come back. Tibbs got the word. But like you guys said, Burks just came in for that final possession. Obviously at halftime, they were able to fully assess Brunson, give him the necessary treatment. And then he came out, man, had his Willis moment today. And it was special, man. Look, today the crowd, everyone was just so adrenaline fueled as well. And then late down the stretch, the levels that the Garden reached was insane. And I would not want to be an opposing player playing an MSG, right? And that's a salute to our current players, but possible future players watching, right? This is why you want to be a New York Knick, man. We're the best fan base, the best crowd, the best arena. And right now we have a Batman, man, a Superman as well, right? Who might want to join this man too, right? To bring that championship to New York City. Yeah, of course, playing 48 minutes, you're going to have some turnovers, no doubt. Fatigue creeping in. Nick Yak says that, Hart's coast-to-coast play. Insane how he does it all the time. He really reminds me of a footballer, NFL footballer as well. A linebacker, a running back. He really is just in perfect physical condition as well. And that is a real example, fam. If you keep yourself in peak physical shape and you're in great mental shape as well, and the game slows down for you, you can really step it up. But I will add this as well with Josh Hart, as we'll turn our attention to the next man in a minute. But Josh Hart, it helps that he can handle the ball. He's got a really good handle as well. But it helps that he doesn't shy from contact. He likes the contact. He'll force contact as well. He loves it with the rebounding and the drives as well. When players are scared of contact, that's when you see them miss bunnies, layups, and things like that. I always felt RJ Barrett, when he did drive to the cup, RJ Barrett, and then there are many players like this. I'm just using RJ as an example, but he always tried to avoid the contact in midair as well. Whereas a guy like Josh Hart does force the contact. He wants to draw the contact as well. And I think that's important for players looking up as well. Don't try to avoid the contact, because you're just going to make life difficult for you trying to execute the layup or, convert as well. And if you don't get the foul call, you put yourself at a disadvantage as well. So Hart is a real old school throwback. And he is like a John Starks, embodies the legend Knicks as well. But again, like I said, if you're in peak physical condition, you can do things that Hart is doing right now. 48 minutes, full preparation as well. I don't want to go too far back too, but I think this needs to be said. Earlier in the season, when Hart was down, he just had twin babies as well, and his whole world changed. As anyone who's been a parent knows, you lose sleep. Your whole life has changed. When Hart had two kids, his play dropped, and it was clear that he wasn't playing to his capabilities. But a lot of people were on Hart unfairly And a lot of people were saying that Hart's trash, and where is the old Josh Hart, and we overpaid him and all of those things. And I was one of the first people to say that no, this guy, the Hart we've seen is the real Hart. He's just going through a dip, because of some personal circumstances as well. And look, the Hart we see now is clear. It's clear for everyone, now to see what he's capable of doing. And man, I'm so glad he's locked up under a good contract now, and he's rising for the playoffs. Which is invaluable for a player. Some players are great regular season players, and then they shrink when the playoffs come. And some players like Hart go the other way. They rise and they play better. So we got ourselves one, man. Salute Vaughn. CT, I told my partner the moment the team came into the locker room that JB got that boost. Yep, great point. No doubt halftime came at a right time. God knows if we had, had to go any longer, we might have been in a 15-point hole, fam. But as you say, no doubt we got the necessary adjustments done, the treatment, and JB wasn't going to let his guys down. To 40% from the line from Siakam during the playoffs. That's crazy. That's a crazy dip. I think the pressure definitely got to Siakam too. Nembhard trying to be extra physical. I think that's what makes it more satisfying. The fact that Brunson on 1 foot was able to still punish those guys, and and this is why this will be remembered for me as the Jalen Brunson game, right? There's been special games. There's been the 50-point game in Phoenix in the regular season. I mean, there's been the last 4 games where he's equaled Michael Jordan with 4, 40-point games in a row. And unfortunately, that stretch comes to an end. But he'll be remembered in that, kind of stretch now. Too shy of Jerry West. Obviously, Bernard King as well. In that 4-player circle, right? But just unbelievable hustle and heart was displayed tonight too. Stanley, no news yet from OG and Anunoby outside of the fact that it is a sore hamstring. So I'm refreshing X right now. And looks like, Rick Carlisle is going on a rant saying we deserve a fair shot. So these are some live quotes I'm giving you right now, according to the press conference SNY reporting. Rick Carlisle has opened his presser addressing the 29 plays that the Pacers thought were called incorrectly in Game 1, but didn't submit to the league, and criticizing Josh Hart's shove on Tyrese Halliburton tonight. So he's using the media now, is Rick Carlisle, to hopefully get home cooking back at Indiana, which is a strategic move for real, right? And he's trying to stand up for the honor of small markets like Indiana, with a population of 880,000 getting steamrolled by the NBA. Right. Look, when you lose, you're going to find multiple ways to talk about it. But at the end of the day, the Knicks cooked you. They had Nembhard on Brunson. He cooked Nembhard, right? Rebounds. They couldn't get the rebounds when it was said and done. As Jay Wright, the Nova coach, is paying homage to Brunson on X, saying these games are incredible. The will of the Knicks is indomitable. The garden is on fire. Those are words from Coach Jay Wright as well. He must be watching these Nova Knicks like a proud father, proud uncle, proud family member as well. Unbelievable. The crowd saying F you to Reggie. Kendrick Perkins, big body Brunson, Mr. Brunson, to the rest of you non-believers. Carry y'all on. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Rick Carlisle. So what are your thoughts on that, guys? He referenced 29 plays that the Pacers thought were called the wrong way. that sounds like a sore loser to me. There's still many, many games to play in this series. I don't want my head coach, putting so much focus on that. If I'm Indiana, I go to Indiana and I'm confident to try to win 2 games there as well. But I think he's doing it strategically as well. As I agree with Wall Street Dame, salute. He needs to stop complaining about fouls. This is the playoffs too. For every call that you were hard done by, and I'm not disagreeing, teams get hard done by call, but for every call that you think you were hard done by, you were blessed with a call. I think it evens out at the end, and what I mean by that is they were overplaying Brunson so much, they were grabbing his arm, his jersey, his shoelace, everything, man. And a lot of the refs let that go. So the same way you can be really physical with Brunson, because like Tibb says, to the letter of the law, a lot of those bumps on Brunson are a real foul. They're a real foul, but he's playing through it. We're literally, this is street ball right now. It's literally just put the ball in the bucket, no blood, no foul, kind of thing as well. Is Stanley's throwing shots at Indy, White Castle, and Long's Bakery are the best things to come out. Look, this is the playoffs. I really like a good competition. Hotly contested series so far as well. Philly fans still trying to creep up into our chat comments and Knicks Nation's DMs. You guys probably had it out with some Sixer fans as well. They're watching on, wishing that they were swishing. But right now they're fishing. And instead the New York Knicks are the ones, making history, in terms of that. But look, Indiana finished 6th. You are what your record says. If you want a better shake, get home court. Right? That's what home court is won for. That's why Tom Thibodeau grinds these guys in the regular season to get the prime position, right? And the Knicks, last time we went to the finals, we did it the hard way from the 8th seed. But you don't want to keep doing that. You want to finish second. We avoided Boston in this second round, and so far it's paying dividends. But Rick Carlisle, right? Part of me was thinking that Brunson just needed that little bit of extra motivation as well to come back out and just give it to Rick Carlisle, former coach. That, of course, there's respect between the two, but I think Jalen Brunson wanted to, just to remind his former coach to say, hey man, remember what you had, remember what you had in Dallas with me, man, as well. All the buzz about Luka, all the buzz about Anthony Edwards. Jalen Brunson has arrived, fam, as a legit MVP now. What are your thoughts, guys? As I said earlier, Jalen Brunson voted 5th this season in MVP voting. And I say hopefully it means that he is first team All-NBA, right? Hey, if you're the top 5 MVP, no excuses not to be a first team All-NBA guy. Fam, bless our guy with that accolade because, top 5 MVP, it's the highest of any Knicks finish since Carmelo Anthony finished 3rd, I think, in MVP. The debate of, is he a superstar? Is he a 1A? That's redundant. That discussion as well. If you're top 5 in MVP, right, that shows you're the top 5 best players in the league right now in season. And there's certainly an argument to be made that Brunson is higher than that, right? So there's more than 5 superstars in the NBA, and Jalen Brunson should be referred to and addressed as one too. As these guys are supporting him, man. What a supporting cast we have. And Hart's just been the second best Knick, this playoffs, and consistently the best Knick in terms of bringing it every single night, fam. 48-minute night once again. We'd be down the toilet if Hart wasn't with us, man. 48 minutes, we needed that, fam, and he's bringing it too. So our starting 5, man, got it done. OG was able to play almost 30 minutes, thankfully, because he was a huge impact early. We don't win this ball game without him. But now, let's shout out our big man, our center, man, the indomitable, the dishing, swishing, Isaiah Hartenstein, man. Again, one of his best games as a New York Knick, given the stakes, the moment, losing his brother, Mitchie. And that's where I'll start, man. Hart started out in his warm-ups wearing his Mitchie t-shirt. You know, those guys are brothers. And he's definitely got his brothers back with this one. Isaiah Hartenstein, man, came out. He was huge. Again, winning the big man battle against Miles Turner. Efficient around the cup, 5 of 7. 4 of 4 from the free throw, not leaving a single point at the line, fam. 12 boards, 4 offensive, 8 assists, right? The leading assist getter for the whole squad from your big man, right? Forget Jokic, man. This is Jokic 2.0, fam. A guy who's definitely who's growing his game. 14 points and second team high, plus 21, fam. Almost played 40 minutes and gave us a hell of an advantage when he's out there, man, with 21 plus and his 14 points. I'll say the same thing I said to Hart, man. This guy, what doesn't he do? Because 8 assists, 12 rebounds, and the points as well, right? Just amazing playmaker for his, you know, his size and his profile as well. Finding guys cutting, and as I said, man, it just helps the offense flow with these guys. He's just amazing. And yeah, he gets an A++ for me too. This was a game where backs to the wall, you know, they didn't even know if Brunson was going to come back. They just continued to fight, fam, as well. But yeah, the 8 assists were special, out rebounding the Pacers again too. And let's look at this stat, fam, as we tally Josh Hart's rebounds, 15, with Isaiah Hartenstein's 12 rebounds. That's 27 rebounds, fam. How many rebounds did the Pacers have? 41, too. So Hart and Isaiah almost out-rebounded the entire Indiana Pacers squad. Were basically 2/3 of the Indiana's rebounding as well, and made up basically almost all of the New York Knicks rebounds just from those two guys. Made up about half of the Knicks rebounds with 52. Just incredible hunger and will to pull in those rebounds with physicality as well. And look, he's played through, you know, a sore Achilles as well this season. Not a good thing to have Isaiah playing that many minutes, but look, we'll talk about Precious. But obviously what Tibbs sees is the New York Knicks are 10 wins away now from winning the Larry O'Brien. Right? This is literally what you play the game for now. Right? We are so far deep into this thing where it's like, yeah, nothing's ideal in terms of the minutes now. But when you think about how close you are to winning or getting to the NBA Finals, that's what these players dream of coming up, growing up as kids and you know, and high school, college athletes. And we are on a straight buzz right now. And yeah, we just got to keep winning. 2 more wins away from getting to the Eastern Conference Finals too. So these guys want to get there. They smell it, man. They want to close this thing out early. Hopefully we can win one in Indy and end this one in 5, fam. I would love a sweep, and I appreciate the optimism from those that have predicted a sweep, but I don't see that. I think the Pacers can win one in Indiana for sure. I think it'll take a hell of a lot for Indiana to win in New York, though. So obviously if OG plays, we know 85% win chance for the New York Knicks as well. We are just too gritty, too tough. But the Pacers, a credit to them because they have thrown everything at us, you know, in the kitchen sink. I've never seen a team pick us up full court the way that Indiana is doing it, you know, for the full game as well. And look, they needed 2 special performances from TJ McConnell, to give them a chance. They had a really fighting chance to win game one, and tonight, obviously they came closer in game one, but tonight you kind of felt like they got closer too, because if Brunson didn't return in the ball game, Indiana probably would have won the game. So, they'll take some things away from this heading back to Indiana, but what we can take away is the fact that what we're doing is working. Just got to keep doing it, for 48 more minutes. And hopefully we don't miss anyone, fam. Melo did finish second in the MVP voting. Thanks for the correction, fam. I thought it was third, but yeah, second. Amazing season from that one, fam. Incredible. But yeah, Jalen Brunson in his second season as a Knick to get fifth with the likes of the Joker, with the likes of SGA, Tatum, LeBron, all those guys, huge. But Isaiah to almost play 40 minutes once again, another hero tonight. And yeah, I love his 8 assists. The offense really does feed off of his, contributions with the floater game, the putbacks, and the dishing as well. Now, guys, let's talk about Precious, and then we'll talk about Deuce and the role that the bench is going to play moving forward. How would you rate Precious's performance? Right? Not going to give Precious an A++, although he deserves it in terms of heart, hustle, energy, all of that. But in just terms of contributions, I'll give Precious an A, right? We're 2-0 lead. He stepped in. There was some difficult circumstances, no doubt. But for Precious to be 4 of 5, great production. 8 points, used up 4 fouls, but got us 3 offensive rebounds, which were critical. More offensive rebounds than defensive. Although it was a -14, as I said. The second quarter basically was the killer with that one. But the third quarter, he didn't play as much with OG. OG was still in the ball game at that point. But look, man, yeah, Precious, I can't say enough about him because he's stepped in this season and been big for us. His defense, it's a real luxury. His length is much needed. I thought he did contest Pascal Siakam really well, on a few possessions, boxed out really well. He sets good screens as well, does Precious Achiuwa, and just his live body movement, his mobility, versatility is huge. Can he nail a couple of shots? That would be good. He can hit the mid-range. There was a couple of shots where it was wide open. The crowd was chanting, put it up, but he kept it moving as well, and that was great. So, Precious gave us 28 minutes tonight. So dare I say that he will continue with that production. I think 25 to 30 minutes. We'll wait and see in terms of OG. But like Stanley's asking, no update from OG yet. We see some TNT stuff saying Chuck thinks the Knicks are overrated. Tyrese Halliburton saying they outplayed us. Let's not pretend like the refs are the reason we lost. We just got to be better. So, better words from Tyrese. Good to hear that. Obviously, you want a leader if you're Indiana. You want to focus on winning game 3. Let's see. Jamal Crawford, former Knicks legend, 6th man of the year. Jamal says 54 years to the day, in the Garden, Jalen Brunson pulls a Willis Reed. Unbelievable, man. Tib says the mental toughness piece is so important. To be at your best when your best is needed, even when you may not be feeling your best. Those are just huge words from Tibbs. We see video of Josh Hart going over to the scorer's table and whispering in Reggie Miller's ear, giving him a piece of his mind. Unbelievable. unbelievable, incredible win today as well. Can't wait to soak it all up. And it's a blessing to share this post-game with you all and chop it up after a special, special win. Alan Hahn, MSG analyst, ESPN. Alan Hahn says, someone needs to ask Coach Carlisle why he left TJ McConnell, Nick Killer, on the bench in clutch time for both games. So Alan giving it back to Rick in terms of his accountability and coaching a losing performance with that one. John Schmelk of the New York Giants. We had the preview of Game 2 with John yesterday. John says Deuce needs to do better. And we're going to talk about Deuce right now. As NBA Central has tweeted out Josh Hart in the playoffs. Right. Incredible stretch. I'll post that in the comment section. That's just been unbelievable. This stretch that Hart is on right now, man. Just unbelievable. But yeah, Rick Carlisle, he's going crazy. With his words, right? He's emotionally fueled. His team is 2-0 down. Just unbelievable. He's getting it, though, from a lot of fans, too. Unbelievable performance from Jalen Brunson. The Jalen Brunson game today that we witnessed. Some special graphics going out there as well. I'll post that. Skip Bayless, a guy who didn't predict the Knicks against Philly, but has predicted us against Indiana now, has tweeted out no Julius, no Bogdanovich, no Mitch, no Anunoby, Jalen Brunson limping. At some point, the Knicks just won't have enough. Still finds ways to doubt, man. That guy's a clown. Steph Bondi says, Hart in the locker room says, I just wanted to make sure Reggie heard what they said. Wearing Starks' number, of course. Caitlin Cooper doing some work with the Indiana Pacers podcast. She's tweeted out, a depleted Knicks team scored 130. That's the story, full stop. So great point there. Accountability. They do have to do better if they're Indiana. Hart says, just a resilient group. We got more than what we need. That's the mentality, man. Just you never quit. Yeah, in terms of guys that just never believe that they're out of it. Too. And think about it. If we get more from Deuce McBride, who I'm going to hit on right now, that's going to go a long way on the road. Because, yeah, we do need a little bit more offense, obviously. And Deuce McBride's been amazing so far. But, yeah, they are taking away some things. He's not getting as clean of a look that he has been. Stepped into that mid-range J, though, today, and that was a good sight. That was at a pivotal time in the second quarter when JB was out. But Deuce Miles McBride finished 1 of 4 from the field, 20 minutes, hit both free throws, no turnovers, which is good. 2 fouls, minus 22 though. So yeah, Deuce was on the floor during the toughest stretch that the Knicks had. Finished with 4 points, no rebounds, no steals, 1 assist, and 20 minutes, like I said. As I said again, guys, I think in this playoff game, each team will try to take away something that the other team is doing. They're taking away Miles McBride. Obviously, he's having to work hard, a lot harder than he has been, to guard a TJ McConnell, who's just been a force offensively, so quick downhill, crafty with his dribble as well, and just an expert at getting into the paint. So he has his hands full there. What I want Miles to do is just be a more aggressive, keep the ball moving, feed off your teammates. Hopefully they can screen him and free him up, screen his opponent, free Deuce up for a couple of threes. I think that could get Deuce's game going. But look, he's playing an important role. 20 minutes in a depleted rotation and he's playing high-level defense, trying to stay in front of TJ, switching on every single guy. The Pacers have the number one offense for a reason. They're very, very unpredictable. They make you fully, lock in and use up a lot of energy, on the defensive side, with the fact that they move the ball, so much. But look, Deuce gets a pass for me. He'll get a B. Facing a lot of adversity, bringing it. Hopefully his offense can get going. We do need more from him. Obviously, Bogey out. Potentially OG, Mitchie out now. It's him and Precious off the bench. And I believe in those two. Today the bench was pretty solid because we did get points from Precious, which was much needed. So we got 8 points from Precious, which was key. Only 4 points from Deuce, but the starters were so good, today. So with that said, man, it was a squad win. Alec Burks, 44 seconds. We're not going to go too far into Burks. I think you guys summed it up. If OG can't go, Burks will play. If OG is good to go, then Burks probably will be situational again. See how the game goes. Now, let's talk about, obviously, heading in now to Game 3, fam, in Indiana. Now, let's talk about that, as we're still buzzing right now, man. This 2-0 lead. The Knicks can close this one out with a good win in Indiana. Let's hope that these guys can suit up. But my early thoughts, my prediction as we wait to hear more, obviously, OG, I think is going to be more of a doubt. I think OG Anunoby, hamstrings are very, very tricky. He didn't look like he could properly walk. So one would think he's definitely going to be doubtful. Probably not even questionable. Probably doubtful as well. Now, does that mean he might only miss one game? For sure. He might not be as serious as we think or hope. But with JB, I mean, man, he's going to fight, everything and do everything to make sure that he's able to play. Even if he's slightly limited, he can be that decoy on offense like we see sometimes. Just don't take as many shots, don't bring the ball up the court as often. He's a guy who, if he can play, I think will play, because literally the season is not on the line, but it's there for us to be taken. The Eastern Conference Finals position now is there for the taking, and I think the Knicks can snatch one in Indiana and then close it back in Game 5 at MSG. That'd be amazing, man, and end that series early, as it looks like that Boston will close out Cleveland earlier as well. But look, each game is going to be tough. I expect an absolute track meet in Indiana. TJ McConnell is playing really well. Tyrese is going to play better. Pascal Siakam is going to come under a lot of fire for his missed free throws as well. But our guys are going to be in it, man. Josh Hart, look at those numbers in the playoffs so far. Just absolutely insane. It has been a marathon, Vaughn, but it's going to be a sprint as well in Indiana too. That's their best chance, I think, at winning, the games in Indiana. However, if the Knicks can punish them on the other way, coming back down the court, the Pacers were also poor, some possessions. They were napping, and the Knicks capitalized, finding guys in the corner, that big Devo 3, guys cutting to the bucket as well for some cheap buckets too. Let's hit them on the counter, just like the boxing MMA, fam. As I think the Pacers, obviously, they're not a strong defensive team. They're an excellent offensive team, but you can capitalize on their poor transition D too. But look at the Empire State, man, orange and blue. It was a good night in New York City, indeed, too, fam. As we pull up the full highlights with JB's 29, Dante's 28, Party. Hart's 19, OG's 28. Isaiah's 14. Look at that play from JB. Absorbed the hits and the and one. That was full adrenaline right there, man. I was buzzing as Brunson put the team on his back today on 1 foot. Absolutely heroic performance as well. Not to the levels of a Willis Reed, but it was Willis Reed-esque. Let's put it that way, man. And the whole squad played like, like a champion. They had each other's backs. And shout out to Tibbs. I think he called timeouts at the right time. He made the right matchups for the things that he had available, to him. Vaughn says, I'm ready for a Sims appearance. I won't be surprised. Yeah, he's a real factor now with bodies going down. He's a big body. He's going to be fresh too, so that is something to really keep in mind. He could come in and really give us a lot of energy, even if it's for 6 minutes. Pull in a couple big rebounds, sky for the boards as well. This is Indiana we're playing. Not to sound disrespectful, but if we just keep the physicality, we keep playing New York Knicks basketball, we beat this team. We beat this team in 4 or 5, I think. We continue to win the rebounding. Until they can out-rebound us, we may continue to see the same story. And these guys just, know what's at stake too, man. 10 more wins. And we're lifting the Larry O'Brien, man. 2 more wins. And we're in the Eastern Conference Finals. Going toe-to-toe with Boston. Most likely, fam. We'll see if Cleveland can create some noise, but doesn't look like it so far, fam. We continue buzzing out. CT on the solo. We've got more guests lined up. Bill Daughtry is coming back on next Saturday, fam. It'll be after Game 6. So if either the series will have been wrapped up by the next time we talk to Bill Daughtry, or it'll be going 7 if the next time we talk to Bill next Saturday. That's going to be big. More guests lined up. We'll be doing our preview for Game 3, and we'll continue to wait to see if there's been any injury updates. But so far, all the talk has been the Pacers, some players taking ownership. Coach Carlisle not happy with the officiating. All the Knicks feeling good, saluting each other for their effort. Have just been relentless, though, in this playoff run, man. And we are tough to beat, especially with OG Anunoby being 26 now and 5. Now, Tim Legler, ESPN, says 2 great games in this series. The Knicks are just plain relentless and make so many clutch shots. Right. For Pacers, Rick Carlisle needs to keep TJ McConnell on the floor as much as possible. So far, the Knicks haven't solved him yet, and he plays Brunson tougher than Nembhard. Can't disagree with him there as well, but yeah, Jalen Brunson will find a counter for everything. Small market teams have had some success recently too, so I don't see this bias. Nick Young, former NBA player now, tweeting out that they're cheating for the Knicks as well. So Knicks Nation giving it to Swaggy P, another guy who's a has-been, irrelevant right now. All these former players want to weigh in now as well, as the Knicks have never got a favourable whistle, man. It's one of those things that we earned it the hard way too. It's disappointing to see people not give us our respect as well. Jonathan Wasserman, right, chief NBA draft analyst with Bleacher Report. Jonathan says DiVincenzo's third in NBA this year in catch and shoot makes. Super valuable improvement and skill for himself and this Knicks team. Hey, the secret is in the work, fam. The recipe is in the hard work. Yep, and we've got dogs now, players that we can feel proud of. New York City as well, and they get gritty. Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer says, impossible not to love this Knicks team. 5 tough guys on the floor at all times, hustling their A's off. Brunson making the most incredible shots too. Incredible energy from MSG today. It was something like special, man. I could just feel it watching from the screen. The energy coming out of the building, man. It was insane. People referencing this run to Lynn's sanity as well. Obviously in the bigger spotlight though. An even bigger performance from Jalen Brunson. And these New York Knicks, tough down the stretch to beat. Got to tip my cap to Coach Tibbs, right? That could be where we go next. Let's talk about Coach Tibbs, because a lot of people are talking about the minutes, which I think is a real worthy discussion. Obviously, regular season though, it's a bigger factor for me. Right now, as I say, we are only 2 wins away from making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And it's literally, this is what you train for now. This is what you play for. It's next man up, right? Look, the 48-minute thing, obviously it's not ideal and not many coaches do it. There aren't many players on the Knicks bench, though, that could be trusted in the biggest moment as well. So I could understand where Tibbs is at right now and just being so close to get to that second round. I wanted Tibbs to play Shake Milton a little bit more towards the end of the regular season, just to see if he can gel with the backup unit with Deuce McBride, get him some reps and feed into some chemistry. But we didn't see that. So here we're at. He trusts Precious for defense, we know. He trusted Bogey, obviously a seasoned vet, and he trusts Miles McBride. Look, those were the 3 guys really that he trusted the most. Alec Burks, he lost trust in, because obviously Burks didn't help himself, man. Burks was absolutely god-awful during the end of the regular season. There's no other way to say it, man. He became unplayable. If Burks had just been average and, done a couple of nice things, I think he would have stuck in the rotation. But yeah, he basically, his game just completely dropped off. But let's hope that if needed, Alec Burks still has some juice left in the tank, man. Just for one more run, fam. Just for 2020 sake, a throwback Alec Burks performance. We may need to see that. OG's health is going to be and Brunson's is going to be the biggest deterring factor in terms of, Alec Burks' minutes right now. But it's Precious, it's Deuce McBride. They can both give us some hustle, some defense, some points. Let's try to close this one out early. I would love to see Shake Milton, see what he can do, but it does look like Alec Burks is ahead of him and looks like he's the 8th guy if somebody does get played. If OG Anunoby's out, obviously then we're back to a 7-man, man, and someone needs to step in. Precious Achiuwa has to step into the starting lineup too. Knicks 24th champ says the Knicks squad is built like a small market team. I think we are obviously heavily reliant on Brunson, but yeah, I like the makeup of the rest of the squad, like you said, in terms of it's very complementary for the rest of the weaknesses we have, and guys, filling their various roles as well. But yeah, for me, Tibbs, he's got to get an A so far as well. As I said, if he gets us to the Eastern Conference Finals, it'll be an A+ for the season. The job's not done yet, but he's losing bodies. Literally each game can be swung on a knife edge, like John said last night. And if you are playing Hart 5 less minutes or Brunson 5 less minutes with Alec Burks or somebody else, those are the minutes where the game could just be lost. This is the playoffs now, and it's literally so close as well. So I got no problem with what's happening. Tibbs has just got to play the guys that he thinks can get the job done. But look, guys that he does trust, there's no excuse not to play them, right? If you trust Precious Achiuwa, play him 30, play him 25 now. If OG's doubtful, then rest him. Don't risk it. Brunson, look, he's the leader. You're gonna have to put him in a straitjacket to stop him from playing. I think if Brunson is capable of suiting up and giving you something, and it's not going to jeopardize his health, he's going to give you some minutes as well. But I mean, as a fan, like, I know you guys, you got to be torn because you know how much it means to win, and having Brunson out there for as much time as he possibly can play can mean the difference between winning and losing. We are the best team in the crunch in this matchup, fam. Buzzer says, great win, Tibbs A. Salute. Our backs were to the wall in this one, man. We needed to really come hard in the second half, and Tibbs did call timeouts. He got the guys ready. We can't pick up any other players right now, unfortunately, fam. The cutoff has been made already as the playoffs commenced. But for those that may not think it's possible, there's Jacob Toppin, there's Diacady, the other kind of combo forward. Those guys are live bodies. They'll be fresh. Not saying they're going to play at all, but if they do need to play, they could give us maybe 5 minutes of energy. There is some bodies. Daquan Jeffries is more of a veteran player. He's 27 years of age. He's been around, right? If it's one possession or if it's something more, Tibbs might go to him, but we'll see. We'll have to lose more bodies for that to happen. Right now it's Alec Burks, Precious, and it's Deuce Miles McBride, fam. Jericho Sims would probably be the 9th man if a big man is in foul trouble. Right, so yeah, those are the 9 guys, fam, right now. As we're losing Bogey, we lost Mitch. We might be without OG. It's just been absolutely unbelievable, man. We might even be down Brunson, who is probably going to be at least questionable for Game 3, to keep Indiana guessing. Fam. Vaughn says at this point, we just need his all-out efforts in stopping TJ McConnell. For everyone, as a team effort. Obviously, we lose rim protection, and we saw that tonight. TJ was absolutely feasting with the paint and the step back. A lot of the shots Indiana had were uncontested tonight, and that wasn't good. I really hope we can clean that up and just be more closer and stuck to our man. But yeah, that block was insane from OG. Isaiah Hartenstein's huge block on Siakam was amazing. This one was just all Hart once again. And ladies and gentlemen, we're 2 wins away from being in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? We're losing bodies, but it's literally next man up, man. I'd give my foot for Jalen Brunson as well. I'd give my ankle to Mitchell Robinson if I could, and to Bojan Bogdanovic. Like I said before, I'd give my shoulder for Julius Randle. But it's an incredible season so far, man. The ending's not written yet. But man, could this be a fairy tale as well, as we just continue to beat all the odds. And you just know it's your time when setbacks keep happening, but you just keep finding ways to overcome it. You catch a little bit of a break sometimes, of course, luck is involved. But like 1999, man, when the Knicks got to the NBA Finals, that they were injured and banged up, but they beat all the odds as the 8th seed. This year we're the 2nd seed, but we beat all the odds to finish 2nd. And some great moves at the trade deadline, right? Here's another fascinating storyline that might happen, guys. Like, let's go back to the OG trade, right? We traded RJ Barrett. We traded Quickly. And of course, we traded Quentin Grimes later, which I'll talk about. We got back OG Anunoby, which was the trade. But we also got Precious Achiuwa and Malachi Flynn, that could prove to be a real difference maker now with Precious Achiuwa playing the most meaningful minutes of his NBA career so far, man. And he's from the area as well. Precious Achiuwa, man, this is your time to step up, man. And as part of the OG trade, that could be a folk tale that we tell for many, many years now as well, with Precious's opportunity ahead. Next up, the Quentin Grimes trade for Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks. And we traded, of course, Malachi Flynn in that deal, who was from the OG trade as well. And that helped us get back Bogdanovic, who was a huge piece, the guy that we really wanted in that deal. Unfortunately, he's gone down now. But who else was a part of that deal was Alec Burks, fam. The guy at one stage who lost his spot, become the forgotten man. So out of these two trades, the two biggest pieces that we traded for might not be available when we need them moving forward as well. We pray for OG. But the other pieces of the trades could end up invaluable now, pivotal moving forward, man. If we do face Boston, I want Alec Burks to play. Like, Alec Burks can do some things against the Boston, right? We need some scoring. We need some points. We need some ball handling as well. So, I mean, the trades were the trades, but it's like it's incredible how those other guys that were part of the trade as well have become the biggest spotlight right now. Obviously outside of OG, with Bogdanovic done for the year now. And we just wait to see, guys. But just incredible defensive performance from the Knicks down the stretch. Obviously, we've got to clean things up on TJ. But as I said at the top of the show, man, I'll say it again. It's okay to give up some things in the playoffs as well. You got to be strategic because you can't take away everything. Man, they try to take away Jalen Brunson, someone else is going to get loose. Well, if we want to take away what Halliburton is doing, TJ McConnell is going to get loose. If you want to take away Pascal Siakam, another role player might get loose as well. So you just got to choose what you want to do, and you just got to decide, do you want to live with that? One of the biggest decisions Tibbs has made, for me, the most successful decisions, was Joel Embiid in Game 6. Right? He made the call that we're going to take away Tyrese Maxey, but we're going to let Joel Embiid get whatever he wants, right? And bet that Joel Embiid on one knee isn't going to be enough, and he's going to gas out and struggle. And we shut down Tyrese Maxey, and it worked, So that's just a good example of, giving up some and getting some back too. Today we let Tyrese Halliburton get off a little bit. TJ got loose as well. But we shut down Pascal Siakam as well. So that was big. And yeah, the shooters didn't really hurt us so much. I think Ben Shepherd, Obi, were pretty solid. So we got to be tighter on those guys as well. But yeah, this thing is just tough, man. It's just an out and out track meet right now. And look, Indiana. One big pro to extending the rotation for Game 3 is the fact that it's just going to be a helter-skelter, man. Indiana is just going to try to run us out of the gym and get the crowd going, guys. And I think having the eighth man in the rotation is going to be big, whether it's Sims, whether it's Burks, whether it's Milton. We'll wait and see, fam. But yeah, my early prediction is that Brunson is still able to go. Even if he's not at 80%, I think he'll tough it out. The only reason they'll leave Brunson out is if it's more serious and there is a risk of further injury, and they'll save him for later. But OG Anunoby, I think, has got to be more doubtful. Pulled up limp, hamstring soreness. You don't want to, even if it's a really mild strain or a soreness, that can become something bigger. So it looks like we might have to do it the tough way without OG for Game 3. We'll see what happens with that, fam. But yeah, TJ's been the biggest threat so far, more than Halliburton. 100% agree with that one, fam. But heroes abound once again, man, on a historic night with legends in the building. This was the Jalen Brunson game, and he rose just like Willis did in Game 7 to lead the Knicks to a victory that we'll never forget, fam. But the work has yet to be done in terms of finishing the series off. We have a 2-0 lead. It's been an unbelievable run so far now. The Knicks have won 6 playoff games so far. 6 out of 8 playoff games. 26-5 with OG Anunoby. Let's hope he can go, fam. With that, I'll sign off. Right? Enjoy the rest of your night, fam. Let's get it. New York Knicks, Knicks Nation, the streets.